So as you can tell from that preview, we're going to be looking at phrasal verbs. Now, I have a lot of lists for you. We won't get to go through all of them, but I will share quite a few with you and lots of examples. That way, when you are reading on your own, you can take some time to go through those lists. So I'll be sharing lists of prepositions, of course, lists of verbs. We'll be looking at phrasal verbs. So your common verbs are super important, as well as your prepositions. I'll also be sharing a look at, well, it's a list of phrasal verbs, but try to pay more attention to the sample sentences, and that way you can use the phrasal verbs. Because if you just read the list of verbs, it's not going to be very helpful. It's more helpful when you see them in context. Now, I've been looking at emails and I see that people are completing their folders. Good job. So keep doing that, right? Making sure that your information is nicely organized and that you are getting a good amount of practice. For this uh, week, at least next couple of days in particular, practice is very important because you have a review coming up. After the review, we'll have some more sessions and then you'll go on break. So make sure to, practice as much as possible before you go off on your break. I'm gonna add one more thing. I'm just looking at the notes I have. I'm gonna add one more thing to our lesson today. And I'll share some other stuff with you afterwards as well. See how the list is going. Oh, okay. I think, okay, looks like everyone is there. So I'm going to start off today's class a little bit different. And I'm going to show you an example, and then we're just going to talk for a little bit. All right? This is so that we are practicing what we did last week without losing it. So I'm going to do a quick little exercise with everyone, and we're going to talk about things you like, you hate, and you love. All right? What I want you to simply practice is your gerunds. All right? So let's practice with the ing words. I want everyone to think about it, and I'll go from our little list of names, our participants list. And I want everyone to tell me something they like, something they hate, and something they love. All right? And you can use your Spanish context here a little bit easier. Querer, odiar, y amar. Want you to think of those and make nice little simple sentences. Tell me something you like. Tell me something you hate or don't like. Maybe you don't want to be very negative. And then tell me something you love. All right? All of these I want you to practice using gerunds. Right? So I'll stop sharing again. And let's start with Alanis. Hey, Alanis, tell me something you like, tell me something you hate, and tell me something you love.
Mm, I like watching
Watching TV
eh,
or watching Netflix? Watching
sí,
what?
no, watching Netflix en ¿cómo se dice? Series, como
Series.
series coreanas.
Ah,
I hate
I like watching. All right, let's do it again. I like watching.
I like watching
Kor
series,
Korean
Koreans,
series.
Korean series. Sí, cierto.
Good.
Y
Right?
algo que odio,
Mm-hmm.
I, I hate,
Mm-hmm.
mm, de, de, ¿cómo se dice pacientes? Pa,
Patients?
¿pacientes?
But
¿Patients?
all of the patients? You hate all patients?
No, 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 odio los pacientes que cancelan clínicas.
I hate patients who cancel.
I hate patient full cancel.
All right.
Ajá, y I love it, my family.
Good. All right. All right. Let's continue with Carolina.
Mm, I like watching football.
All right. What's your favorite team? Better be Pumas.
No, Tigres.
Are you from Monterrey?
No, pero me gusta mucho.
Oh my goodness. All right. Tell me another one.
Mm, I love my friends
Okay.
and dating.
Or something you don't like. Uh-huh.
Mm, I hate mm, I hate the basketball.
Really? You hate basketball. Okay. Wouldn't have imagined you to be. Right. Let's go to Miguel.
Oh, yes, teacher. I like to drive at night.
Oh, to relax. What?
Um, yes.
Okay.
Uh, I hate doing cardio,
Okay. Okay.
and I love enchiladas.
All right. Okay. That's a very good list. And let's go with Espino Hernandez. Naomi.
Yes, I like maybe watching TV. My
Mm,
favorite series is Stranger Things. I hate drawing, and
okay.
I love maybe making a real dancing.
Okay. Okay. Let's continue with Estefania.
Yes, teacher. I like to traveling.
All right. Don't put the two if you're going to use ing. I like traveling.
Uh, I like travel.
Traveling.
I like traveling.
Mm-hmm.
I love to go to the mall,
Okay.
and I hate the traffic.
Okay. But do you hate sitting in traffic? What do you hate about the traffic? See,
Mm, oh,
all right. What I want you to practice there is your ing, your gerunds. So let's
uh,
practice this phrase. I hate being in traffic.
I hate being in
Mm-hmm.
traffic.
Good.
Okay.
All right. Fatima?
I like eating pasta.
Oh,
I hate waking up early, and I love spending time with my friends and family.
good, good, good. All right. Let's go with Vetsaida. Vetsaida there with us?
Uh,
Go ahead.
yes, teacher.
All right. Let's practice with those three things. tell me one thing you like doing, something you hate doing, and something you love doing.
Sure, ¿está compartiendo pantalla o algo así?
I showed an example, but we are practicing. All right, let me
Ah,
show you the three things we're practicing with again. All right, so I want you to tell me something you like. We're practicing your INGs. Something you hate or something you dislike. So I don't like. And something you love. All right, so you can practice those gerund phrases we did last time. All right, go ahead, tell us.
ok, voy.
Ready?
Um,
Mhm.
mm, I hate being
Being,
to, told of by, ¿cómo se dice? Pacientes,
patience.
patients.
Mhm. All right, something you don't like or something you hate.
Yes,
Tell me something you like. So you like, do you like practicing dentistry?
mhm,
All right,
yes.
let's make a sentence. I like practicing dentistry.
I like practice.
Prac-
Dentistry.
Practicing
Practicing
dentistry.
dentistry.
And can you tell us something you love?
I love mm, I love listening to music.
Good. All right. Let's continue with Lisette. I like driving around the city. No, you don't. Unless it's like Miguel, like 2 o'clock in the morning when there's no traffic. See the next one. Dun, 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 dun. You hate waking up early. Well, I think there's a consensus there. And I love watching series and movies during the weekends. Okay, thank you, Lisette. All right, Javier, tell us three things.
Yes. I like watching basketball games. I hate eating onion and I think don't are translation, but it's cilantro in English.
Uh, it's actually pretty close. All right,
Okay.
continue, and I'll share the word with you guys.
And I love singing.
Good. All right. Singing is very peaceful. Cilantro. Yes, most of your verbs and your herbs, your verbs, they will have a translation. Cilantro is coriander. I think that's the
Korean.
coriander. That's the best word I can give you.
Okay.
Right? And I think I have a list of herbs. Now that you brought it up, herbs and spices that are quite common. And since you guys cook a lot, it'd be good so you know their names. Let me see if I can find a good list. Yes, here's a good list. Anise, basil, bay leaf, and celery seeds, chives. You can use cilantro in English, and it's a big thing because we eat a lot of food here in Mexico that is popular in the rest of the world. So some words are used in Spanish the same way we say pizza, like how the Italians say pizza, and we don't make a new word for it. A lot of people have started using the words in Spanish as they, talk about them. So a lot of people are now saying cilantro. They don't say coriander anymore, right? And there's lots of other words. So I'll share those with you. Let me share my screen and kind of show you why I agree with you to not use coriander. The family of herbs, where cilantro is from, also has others, right? So for example, this is or a wonderful little green herb. And this is also, all right? So we also use the seeds. So sometimes it's just much better to just use the Spanish word because we're going to be describing other things with other words as well. All right? Now, of course, there are some words that you should go ahead and use the translations for because they're not so popular in other languages. All right? So I'll share this list with you so you can see some of the translations that we use, as well as some of those exceptions that are becoming more popular as we cook and share our ingredients across the world. All right?
Thank you, teacher.
You're welcome. All right, let me get back to this beautiful list. All right, Jetsy, tell me 3 things.
So I hate the heat.
You hate what?
The heat.
Okay, remember we're practicing our gerunds. All right, so I hate feeling hot. I hate being at school when it's hot. Try to practice ing words.
Okay. I don't like being with so many people, but I like the concerts.
Okay, good. Something you like, something you love.
Mm, I like swimming,
Good.
and I love playing with my dog.
Awesome. All right, let's go to Carla Jimena.
Yes, I like watching Formula One.
Oh, are you a big fan of Lewis Hamilton since we don't have Checo to watch anymore?
Yes, of Checo.
Okay. All right. So something you dislike, hate, and something you love?
Um, I hate being in the sun for a long time,
Me too.
and I love playing with my cat.
Awesome. All right, let's go to Regina.
Um, I love watching movies in the cine.
Oh, at the cinema.
Um,
Okay.
yes, I hate the lights
Do you hate
and
do you hate being alive or do you hate dealing with people?
mm,
Mm.
hmm, I think yeah,
All right, I hate dealing with certain people. Repeat.
and I like swimming.
All right. Let's go to Dana Jimena. Are you there, Rodriguez Lopez?
Yes, teacher. Sorry.
No worries. Go ahead.
Um, I like
listen music.
Listening to music.
Listening music. I hate waking up early.
Mhm.
And I love my family and my pets.
All right. I love spending time with my family. I love being with my family. Practice your gerunds.
I love spending time with my family.
Good. All right, let's go to Victor. Mr. Evaristo. Are you there, Sanchez? Or who's hiding behind your profile? Everything okay with your microphone? All right, let's
Sorry.
go ahead.
1 minute.
Tell us. All right, one thing you like, one thing you hate, and one thing you love. I used to play this game at the beginning of the semester, but I think saving it for phrasal verbs is also pretty good. All right, tell us three things.
I like so much very musical genres.
You like playing musical chairs?
No, so much musical genres.
Musical jingles?
No, I went. How do you say género in English?
Again?
How do you say géneros musicales in English?
Oh, I like listening to different musical genres.
Okay, musical genres.
Okay. All right.
I hate periods.
Again, we're missing the gerund and the last part of your sentences. You hate what?
Periods.
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 No, it sounds like you're driving. We're not hearing. Try the last one. All right. Don't forget your gerunds. All right. For example, I love eating pizza. All right. Let's practice with love. Ah, the type of dentistry. Okay. All right. And tell us something you love.
I don't know. Maybe travel to my family.
All right. I love traveling to see my family.
Okay, traveling to my family.
Good. All right. So you can practice those gerunds. All right. Angie, let's go to you.
Yes, I like to play tennis in the mornings.
All right. Let's practice with the gerund. Good use of infinitives, but let's practice with gerunds. I like playing tennis in the mornings.
I play tennis in the mornings.
Mhm.
I hate cooking elaborate meals.
Okay.
I love animals and exploring new places.
All right. Valentina,
Yes. I hate feel hot when I am the subway.
feeling hot? Yeah.
Yeah. I like the Sundays and Fridays.
I like relaxing on Sundays and Fridays.
Yes. And I love indie rock like the Beatles, Pink Floyd.
All right. I like listening to.
I like listening to indie rock like the Beatles or Pink Floyd.
I don't know if I think Beatles are indie rock, but okay. Pink Floyd, I'll take that one. And Vanessa, last one.
Yes, I like exercising in my free time.
Hmm
I hate hearing loud noises.
Okay.
and I love drawing.
Okay. And why did I do it this way this time in that order? What I wanted us to focus on is getting used to speaking, because as we get closer to the end of the course, we're going to be having less and less opportunities to practice those little things. So kind of good that you get it out of your system. Now, as I mentioned last time, this particular unit focuses on likes and dislikes. So it would be crazy if we had a whole couple of classes without actually saying what we liked or disliked. Now, in this unit, we're practicing our prepositions plus our gerund phrases, our likes and dislikes. We can also use other words to discuss or to express that. We can say we enjoy, we find something pleasing, dislike. And it's super important that we use our prepositions. Now, when it comes to prepositions, there are lots and lots of them. I'll share a nice long list with you, right? And they come in lots of different types, right? And they are particularly useful based on their form, right? So we have prepositions that we use for place, for time. We also use them for directions, etc. All right? So lots and lots of prepositions. You'll notice that when it comes to phrasal verbs, you're basically using a verb plus a preposition. So knowing what your verbs mean and how, when you combine them with a preposition, they might create a new meaning or modify the original meaning is super important. So I'll send you lots of different types of phrasal verbs so you can see some examples and how to use them. Now, phrasal verbs are something, as the video mentioned, you want to see them in context. And for me, the best way to see them in context is to look at a lot of examples, all right? Don't try per se to memorize the list. Look at these different examples and try to understand how they're being used in context. Now, for us, one of the big practice items that you've been seeing is how are we making it possible to combine the gerunds and the prepositions, or just making words that are verbal, right? So how do I make that happen? Sometimes you won't be using an ing word. Sometimes you'll be using to. It's the infinitive form on your verb, so you can create new modifications with those phrasal phrases. There is this tool called the Phrasal Verbs Dictionary that has a lot and lot and lot and lot and lot of different phrasal verbs, and they are constantly putting new ones. So if you think you want to learn all of them, go be a nerd about it and enjoy this phrasal verb dictionary. There's also one over here that's focusing more on the prepositions used in these phrasal verbs. So another dictionary, so to speak, for you. All right. Continuing with that focus on, having the context clear, just like this kind of Spanish and English combination to give you some more scaffolding. I'm also going to give you this, where you'll have audio of people speaking and using those phrases. If you're having any trouble kind of understanding it, play around with it some more and look at some more examples. And there's some exercise I'll leave here. And this was the game we played at the beginning. For our lesson today, let's take a quick look at phrasal verbs. All right. And here, I'll go back to the top of the list. No, let me go in the middle. Let me go with Carla Jimena. Carla, read for us.
Okay. In English, there are many verbs that consist of two parts. The verb plus either a preposition or an adverb. The difference between prepositions and adverbs is the prepositions are linked with nouns or pronouns, while adverbs are part of an of and depend on the verb. Below, we can see the difference between these two types with the example. Life down, which can act as a prepositional verb or an adverbial verb.
Good. All right. So when you think of those phrasal verbs or when you think of those prepositional combinations, that's what we mean. We have lots of different words that we can combine the verb plus a preposition to make a new phrase or to provide new meaning. Lives down means direction. Remember, we talked about prepositions that show direction. So in this physical space, he doesn't live north, he lives in the south. He lives down the street. All right? While live down means he cannot get over it. He can't, we would say, no puede superarlo. All right? Something happened to him and he was never able to live a new version of his life. There's a forever trauma there. All right? So those combinations, based on whether it's a noun combination, prepositional, or adverbial, linking more with the verb meaning, will give you two different ideas. All right. Now, there are lots and lots of different examples of how to make those combinations based on whether you want them to be separate on your sentences. So I'll share a nice long list here as well for you to see. There are some audio here that you can practice with, and there are some exercises. All right. So let's dive in a little bit deeper into a quick little set of exercises, and then I'll let you go. I'll open up all three. This is a fairly big group. And just to kind of remind you, there's also combinations with to get, like to get up, to get down, and some other combinations. So you can also take a look here. Let's go up to the toppity top. And let me start with, let me put the list here on the side. Let's start with Alanis again.
Dice, you have to
Mhm. Let's see if you remember those
what?
verbs. Put,
You have to put your cigarette
cigarette,
cigarette out when you enter the non-smoking area.
perfect. All right, Carolina, number two.
They give all their money away to the poor.
Good. Miguel,
Uh, the farm, the firemen are trying to get in the cause of the fire.
all right. When you open a door, you get in. But when you're investigating, you're trying to find out. All right, let's practice that one again. The firemen are trying to find out the cause of the fire. Repeat.
Yes, the firemen are trying to find out the cause of the fire.
Good. All right, let's continue with Naomi, number four. Espina Hernandez, still with us?
Yes. It's my daughter mm, looks at her father.
All right. Looks at her father. All right. In this case, I think they're talking about similarities. So we could also say seems like her father. All of these that have S endings are possible because my daughter would be she. I think the best option here is actually takes after. Why? Because she follows his habits. All right. So a good option here would be takes after. Leaves in doesn't really make much sense. All right. Looks at would be more prepositional. Seems like could be, but I think the best option here is takes after. All right. Let's practice. My daughter takes after.
Yes, my daughter takes after her father.
Good. All right. Let's continue with Fatima.
The plane is going to take off in 20 minutes.
Exactly. All right. Let's go to Vetsaida, number 6.
My brother uses my things and never mm, drives them back.
Back, yes, but puts. Remember, uses here does not necessarily mean
Okay.
to get in a car. All right. So here, the best
Yes.
option would be puts them back. Repeat.
My brother uses my things and never puts them back.
All right. Let me make the screen big enough so Lisette can see one while Javier is answering number 8. Go ahead, Lisette. You can write in the chat. Javi, number 8.
I answered the number 8.
Yes. And
Okay.
Lisette, you can do number 7.
Take off your coat and make yourself comfortable.
Exactly. All right. And Lisette, what do you think? Number 7. Get the box out of the way. She says, dun, 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 the music is too loud. Turn it down, please. Correct. All right. In this case, turning down, in the past, we used to have dials for the volume. So you literally would be turning the volume down. All right. Let's go to number 9 with Jetsy.
Oh, yes. Peter is so fast, it's really hard to keep up with him.
Good. All right. Let's continue with Carla Jimena. Let's do some more.
I'm sorry, yes.
Mm-hmm.
The burglar broke into her flat.
All right. And for those who don't know what a burglar is, in English, we like to say there are different degrees of taking things from people. When you don't ask, it's stealing. When you steal aggressively, we call that, well, depending on if there's like a knife or if there's no one to help you, you will call that rob. All right, so someone robs you. If they don't do it aggressively and you don't notice, that's to pickpocket. So they put their hand in your pocket, take your things, and you don't know, like on the train. If they steal from your house or from a bank, we call that burglar, a burglary, because there's a physical building that they're taking things from. So there are different degrees of stealing in English. All right, so that's a burglar is a person who steals from a building. All right, I think it's time for Regina.
Mm, We don't believe what Peter told us about Mary. We think he is making it on.
All right. Close. We don't believe what Peter told us about Mary. We think he is making it up. All right. When you gossip, sometimes it's not true. And when we want to express little bits of gossip, that's one way we can say he's making it up. It's not true. Practice. We think he's making it up.
We don't believe what Peter told us about Mary. We think he's making it up.
Good. All right. Let's go to Dana Jimena, number 3.
I am very sad because yesterday I um, fell out with my best friend.
Yes. All right. Fell out. Now you might not immediately see the combination, but imagine there's a relationship happening and you no longer see things in the same way. That's when we use fall out. Right? You disagree. Right, and as the preview video said, most of our phrasal verbs has a singular word that you could use instead. But conversationally, you'll hear a lot of native speakers use phrasal verbs. So it's good to know them. So yeah, they had a falling out. Now, this is generally different from breaking up because that's more romantic relationships. All right, let's go to Evaristo again, number 4. When it comes to,
Number 4.
yeah, is it fall out, let up, get up, or made up?
Our parents had argument last night, but they got up today.
All right. Now, if fallout is them having a disagreement, when they want to talk to each other again, it's to make up. All right. So they made up today. Repeat.
Our parents had argument last night. They got up today.
All right. Angie, number 5.
Sí. We set off for New York at 6 o'clock to avoid the traffic.
Yes, indeed. Don't want to be stuck in traffic. Valentina.
Yes. My mother opened the door and um, getting the old cat.
Almost. Let in, to allow, to receive. All right. Let in the old cat. Just imagine you have a cat inside the door.
Mm.
And you allow it in. All right, practice again. My mother opened the door and let in the old cat.
My mother opened the door and let in the old cat.
Good. And Vanessa, number 7.
Please be quiet. Shut up.
Imagine someone just nonstop, like the teacher. I'm gonna shut up now. Go on, practice, make your folders nice and neat and organized, and do not wait until the last minute. If you've finished your folders already, go ahead and do your exam 3 and 4. All right, over the next couple of days, I'll be dropping some scores on your portal. For those who haven't seen some scores recently, hopefully that will shed some light on what's going on. Until next time, do take care and keep on practicing. See you soon.